Imagine this. A poor boy is standing outside a giant mansion. His clothes are simple. His pockets are empty. But inside his mind, a fire is burning. He is not thinking about what he has. He is thinking about what he will have. And one day, the world will call him one of the richest men alive. But here is the strange part. His wealth did not start in a bank. It started in a thought. Now let me ask you something. Why do some people start with nothing and still build empires, while others start with talent, education, and opportunity yet never rise? Is it luck? Is it intelligence? Or is there something deeper, something invisible, something happening inside the human mind? More than 85 years ago, a man spent 25 years searching for the answer to this mystery. His name was Napoleon Hill, and the result of his search became one of the most powerful books ever written, Think and Grow Rich. But this book is not really about money, not at its deepest level. It is about something far more dangerous and far more powerful. The hidden laws of the human mind. And once you understand them, you will never see success the same way again. Napoleon Hill did not wake up one day and decide to write a book about success. His journey began with a challenge. A challenge given by one of the most powerful men in the world at that time, Andrew Carnegie. Carnegie was a steel titan. One of the richest men in history, but he believed something strange. He believed that success was not random. He believed there was a formula, a pattern, a hidden set of principles that successful people followed, whether they realized it or not. So he gave Hill an impossible mission. Spend years studying the most successful people in the world. Find their secret and share it with ordinary people. Napoleon Hill accepted, but he had no idea that this mission would change his life forever. For the next 2 decades, Hill interviewed and studied hundreds of powerful minds: Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, Alexander Graham Bell, and many more. These were not just successful people, they were architects of the modern world. And Hill noticed something strange. They all thought differently, not just smarter, differently. While most people focused on problems, these people focused on possibilities. While others feared failure, they treated failure like information. While the world saw obstacles, they saw stepping stones. And slowly, a pattern began to appear. But the first principle Hill discovered was the most shocking. Every great achievement begins with a burning desire, not a wish, not a hope, a burning desire. Think about that word for a moment. Burning, the kind of desire that keeps you awake at night, the kind that refuses to disappear even when life becomes difficult. Most people want success, but very few people burn for it, and that difference changes everything. Hill tells a powerful story to explain this. A young man once asked a wise teacher the secret to success. The teacher took him to a river. They walked into the water together, and suddenly the teacher pushed the young man's head underwater. Seconds passed, then more seconds. The young man struggled. He fought to breathe. Finally, the teacher pulled him back up. The young man gasped for air, and the teacher asked him one question. When you were under the water, what did you want most? Air, the young man said. Exactly, the teacher replied. When you want success as badly as you wanted air, then you will have it. This is the first secret of Think and Grow Rich. Desire is the engine of achievement. Without it, nothing begins. But desire alone is not enough, because the world is full of people who want things. And yet most never achieve them. So what is missing? Faith, and not the religious kind, the psychological kind. The ability to believe in something before the world gives you proof. Hill discovered that successful people had an almost irrational belief in their vision, even when everyone around them doubted them. Take Henry Ford. When he announced he would build a cheap car for ordinary people, experts laughed. They said it was impossible. Cars were expensive machines. Only the wealthy could afford them. But Ford ignored them. He kept repeating his vision over and over, until eventually the impossible became real. The Model T changed the world. This is the second principle Hill uncovered. Your subconscious mind listens to what you repeat. and over time, it begins to believe it. Then something incredible happens. Your mind starts searching for ways to make that belief real. Ideas appear, opportunities appear, solutions appear, but most people sabotage this process because instead of feeding their mind with belief, they feed it with doubt. I can't. This is too hard. People like me don't succeed. Every time you repeat those thoughts, you program your mind for failure. Hill calls this autosuggestion the quiet conversation happening inside your head every single day. And this conversation determines the direction of your life. This is why successful people are extremely careful about what they think. Because thoughts eventually become reality. Now here is where the story becomes even more interesting. Because Hill discovered something else, something almost mystical. No great success happens alone. Behind every powerful mind, there is something called a mastermind. This is one of the most fascinating ideas in the book. When two or more people combine their knowledge and energy toward a goal, a third invisible force appears. A new intelligence, a shared creative power. Think about history, great empires, great inventions, great companies. They were never built by one person alone. There was always a circle, a team, a network of minds working together. Hill believed this created a kind of mental electricity, a force that multiplies ideas and creativity. And this is why successful people choose their circle carefully, because the people around you are shaping your thoughts. Their beliefs influence your beliefs. Their ambition influences your ambition. If you surround yourself with people who doubt everything, your mind slowly absorbs that energy. But if you surround yourself with people who believe in growth, your thinking expands, your courage grows, your vision becomes bigger. Now at this point in the journey, you might think success is simply about thinking positively. But Hill makes something very clear. Positive thinking alone is useless without action. This is where many dreams die. People imagine success. They visualize wealth, but they never move. They wait for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect opportunity. But successful people understand something powerful. Action creates clarity, not the other way around. You do not need the entire path. You only need the first step. Hill calls this organized planning. Turning dreams into strategies, ideas into actions, vision into daily effort. But even with planning, there is still a powerful enemy waiting. Fear. Hill describes 6 basic fears that destroy dreams. Fear of poverty, fear of criticism, fear of illness, fear of losing love, fear of old age, fear of death. These fears operate silently inside the mind. They whisper doubts. They create hesitation. They convince people to stay small, and most people never even realize these fears are controlling them. But successful people confront them. They act anyway. They move forward despite uncertainty because they understand something important. Fear is often just imagination working against you, and imagination can work both ways. It can create worry, or it can create possibility. Napoleon Hill believed imagination was one of the most powerful tools a human being possesses. There are 2 types: synthetic imagination, which rearranges existing ideas, and creative imagination, which produces entirely new ones. This creative imagination is where breakthroughs are born, where inventions appear, where industries are created. But imagination needs fuel, and that fuel is persistence, because every dream will be tested, every vision will face resistance. Hill tells the story of a man named R.U. Darby. Darby's uncle once tried to find gold during the American gold rush. He dug and eventually found a small amount of gold. Excited, he invested in machines and continued digging. But suddenly the gold disappeared. The vein was gone. Darby gave up. He sold the equipment for a few $100s. A junk dealer bought the machines, but before digging again, the junk dealer did something different. He consulted a mining engineer. The engineer studied the land carefully. and discovered something shocking. Darby had stopped digging just 3 feet away from the richest gold vein. 3 feet, the junk dealer became incredibly wealthy. And Darby learned a lesson he never forgot. Many people quit when success is just 3 feet away. Persistence is often the difference between failure and fortune. And he'll notice something else. People who succeed rarely quit after the first failure, or the second or the 10th. They adapt, they learn, they keep moving, because they understand something powerful. Temporary defeat is not permanent failure, but the story of Think and Grow Rich goes even deeper. Hill believed that the most powerful energy driving human achievement is something unexpected. Emotion, specifically sexual energy. Now this idea shocked many readers when the book was first published. But Hill argued that the energy behind desire, creativity, and ambition is deeply connected. When this energy is redirected toward goals, it becomes an unstoppable force. He called this the mystery of sex transmutation. Many of the greatest leaders and creators in history had extremely intense emotional energy, and instead of letting it control them, they transformed it into creativity, leadership, and ambition. In other words, the same energy that drives passion can also drive achievement. And when this energy combines with desire, imagination, belief, and persistence, something powerful begins to happen. A transformation, the person who once doubted themselves begins to see new possibilities. The person who once feared failure begins to treat failure as feedback. The person who once waited for permission begins to create their own path, and this transformation is the real message of the book. Think and Grow Rich is not just about money. Money is simply the visible result. The deeper message is about becoming a different person. Someone who thinks differently, someone who believes differently, someone who acts differently, because your outer world always reflects your inner world. Change your thinking and eventually you change your life. But here is the final twist in the story. Napoleon Hill discovered that the biggest obstacle to success is not lack of opportunity, it is lack of decision. Successful people decide quickly and change their decisions slowly. Unsuccessful people do the opposite. They hesitate, they doubt, they wait for approval, and opportunities pass them by. Indecision slowly turns into fear, and fear slowly turns into regret. But when a person finally decides, truly decides, something shifts inside them. Their energy changes, their focus sharpens, their actions become intentional, and slowly the world begins to respond. Doors open, people appear, ideas grow, because the mind has finally committed, and that is the journey hidden inside Think and Grow Rich. It is the journey from doubt to belief, from wishing to deciding, from dreaming to becoming. The book begins with a simple idea. Thoughts become things, but by the end of the journey you realize something deeper. Your thoughts do not just create wealth. They create you, the person you become, the life you build, the future you live. And maybe right now as you are listening to this, there is a dream quietly sitting inside your mind. Something you want to build, something you want to become, something you have been thinking about for years. But maybe fear has been holding you back. Maybe doubt has been whispering in your ear. Maybe the world has been telling you to stay realistic. But remember this, every empire, every invention, every fortune, every movement in human history started as a thought in someone's mind. A thought that refused to disappear, a thought that turned into belief, a belief that turned into action, an action that changed the world. So the real question is not whether success is possible. The real question is this: what are you thinking about every single day? Because those thoughts are quietly building your future. If this journey through Think and Grow Rich opened your mind even a little, then make sure you subscribe to the channel, because we explore powerful books like this that can completely transform the way you think about life, success, and human potential. If you truly want to understand this book deeply, don't stop at the summary. Get the full PDF for just $5. Contact us on WhatsApp through the link in the description. Invest in your knowledge and start reading today. And if one idea from this video made you reflect, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Also tell me in the comments, what is one goal you are burning to achieve? I read the comments and I would love to know. And of course, if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more powerful book journeys just like this. Because sometimes one idea from the right book at the right moment can change the entire direction of your life.